All right, can we get together here and come to order? Okay. I need my copy of my budget. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have enough for a quorum. We've been waiting for one more person to arrive, but we've got everybody, I think. Is there anybody missing that's like outside?
Barbara's on her way. She was on a train.
Okay, well, she can join us. Did you want to distribute those? Yeah. I have no idea. TJ? Okay to distribute these?
Yes, please.
Okay. Can I have a motion to open the Finance Committee meeting? Bruce?
Second.
John Malley, second. Oh, I better wait for Joanne. All in favor?
Who opened it?
Bruce, second by John. We are in session. Thanks, everybody. She stapled it, and she made it double-sided.
Which John?
John Malley.
Thank you.
Well, I wanted one page at a time. She did two-sided. Here you go.
Sure.
Okay. Welcome, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Mr. Kelly, our HR Director. Did you want to speak to from whence you just came, or?
Just briefly, Mr. Chairman, if I may. And
Please.
sorry, I'll lean over. I just can't sit. The Board of Selectmen just met and executed our memorandum of agreement with the Town Hall Employees Association, which I think you were alerted to last evening, but now it's official. So at that, if I can, Mr. Kelly is here to answer any questions you may have on the details.
Awesome. Thanks for letting us know that officially. Mr. Kelly.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Do you want to give us the headlines on this, or?
All right. Well, first of all, Town Council and Association Council are presently working on a collective bargaining agreement. And we expect to have that within, I hope, 4 days, 5 days.
So just to interpret that, you're going to take the elements of this document and
fold
have
it.
the full collective bargaining agreement completely retyped, incorporating all of these elements.
Correct.
Perfect, which is a commitment that was made,
And-
which I'm happy to see.
Then we
it's
will
being done.
have it executed again.
Perfect. Okay. Is this?
The highlights of the agreement are that in the recognition clause, we specifically list the positions in the unit, similar to what we've done with every other unit. The recognition clauses are no longer building-oriented or multi-functional oriented. They're by classification. So there is no general recognition clause. In addition, it should be noted that program coordinator positions, program administrator 1 positions, program administrator 2 positions, the positions themselves are excluded from the unit, which was a subject of litigation between the association and the town. In settlement of that litigation, these positions are excluded from the unit. However, any member of the association that is in or will be in a program administrator 1 position will be still a member of this unit until the end of this contract, which expires in about a little bit over a year.
Can I just clarify that? Does that mean that the person is staying in the union, but the position is going away?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I had to translate.
So, the version of this I saw last night had a grid placement on, it's a part of it, but it's not a part of this document, so I'm still looking at tonight.
The grid placement is in a side letter agreement.
All right, so we don't have that, right?
Is that
You
this?
do.
On the back?
Was it the last page?
Flip.
The cover page from last night also had cost calculations?
Yes. I was going to get to that after I went through the provisions of the contract.
I'm sorry, continue, please.
Management rights were only minorly changed as far as the ones that were in the past contract. That was an issue we decided to fight another day. We deleted all references to civil service, and we put in by reference the personnel bylaw. We modified the hours of work to reflect that the people that are working for the police department will work 40 hours, similar to the schedule that's worked over there. We've eliminated the Thursday, holiday, Friday, full day carryover, and we've put in that the town manager or its designee, not the department head, shall approve Sunday and holiday overtime work. We've added the provision for the vacation credit for recruitment purposes, and we've added the provision for the vacation carryover identical to the personnel bylaw. We've eliminated the holiday as a holiday the day after Thanksgiving, and we've revised personal days from 1 day to 2 day, and allow the use of that personal day for the day after Thanksgiving, provided all offices are open. We've deleted some posting sick leave usage language that was in the old contract that the town views as violating HIPAA. And we've included the town return to work sick leave language. We've amended the court leave language so anybody who is litigating against the town does not get court leave. All leave requests will go to the town manager as designee with a notice of granting to the department head. We've eliminated super longevity while grandfathering all employees with, and that's a typo, it should be more than 20 years of service as of June 30th, 2016.
Where's the typo?
In my memo, it says less than.
Yeah, 'cause I'm looking at Article 7 longevity on page 4, Section 3 super longevity, and it says 20 years and June 30, 2016.
Yep.
What's the typo?
In my memo, it
Oh,
says
your memo.
less than.
Okay.
We've added to the physical exams, fitness for duty exams. We've taken out a number of provisions that were relevant to previous contract and insurance negotiations that don't apply anymore. We've added the DLR to the grievance procedure. They're 3 times cheaper than the AAA for arbitration. As far as wages go, we've done away with the hop, skip, and jump, the automatic reclassification every 5 years of the employees. They are now on the townwide grid. And there's some language changes from the previous contract that we've removed that reference computation of VNA, part-time, et cetera, as far as our weekly to hourly computations. They're moot points because now we're on an hourly townwide grid. We've added some language as far as reduction in force, that once all the possible bumpings are done, you can only bump in the last level if the employee possesses the skills, ability, and training that is equal to or greater than the employee that is to be bumped. That way, we ensure that people who are in a particular position and have particular skills are not being bumped by someone who is not trained in that area. It's a 3-year contract. We've deleted the Me Too language as far as if any other unit gets any benefit that these people, this unit doesn't, they get to reopen the contract. There's a signing bonus that equates to $28,500, and similar to the other MOA's contracts, we've inserted an article that deals with creating a performance evaluation program and committee. And the union has agreed to the town's reorganization plans and has withdrawn litigation opposing those plans. The cost was derived from reviews by me, HR Program Coordinator Chatsko, and the internal auditor. And what we've determined is the signing bonus is, cost is $28,500. Fiscal year 15 net costs are $47,843.32, and the net cost in fiscal year 16 are $74,235.63. And as such, at 9:30 tomorrow, we are getting together with Pat to go through step by step.
Okay. And you've got the original memo that you were going to send to me on this as well with these dollar values, the totals? Okay, thanks. Mr. Hartman, did you want to add to that, or? Okay. You looked anxious about wanting to speak. It's the coffee. Okay.
I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you for that presentation, Mr. Kelly. And I'm glad this one finally got resolved. I'm sure both sides felt compelled to take it to the lengths that they took it, but you know, I'll editorialize and say we've got to find a way to get these things done better, faster, and I know that they take some giving on both sides, so I'll leave it there. Questions?
We're going to start again in a couple months.
I know. Do we have questions from the committee on the agreement? Ed?
Yeah, the bonus in the 15 bump, is the whole thing hitting in 15?
Yes.
So it's 76 and change we're going to get whacked with this year?
And what we're looking at, and we're going to be over the next week or so, is we're seeing where in the various that's why I said these are net costs. We want to take them out, if possible, from the various agency budgets.
Okay, thank you.
Anything we can't, we'll report back. That's why we're going to sit down with Pat tomorrow and start to look at that.
So the $47,843 $843.32, that's FY15. That's the cost of the current fiscal year, plus the 28.5 is also in 15.
Yes,
So the total for this year is $76,343.32.
yes.
Okay.
And we believe that the total for increase needed in the article will be $150,578.95. And we'll be, as I said, we'll be looking for fiscal 15 and the bonus to see if, as far as funding sources, we can do it from the agencies.
So we're going to need to fund the article in the warrant for the $74,235.63.
And possibly the others to transfer it from one to the other. There are some agencies that have substantial monies left right now.
Which we would deal with in 15, in this year. We wouldn't carry those over as unpaid bills or anything for
No.
next year, or put it, yeah, so, right. So we do the transfers that we're able to start doing on May 1st, I believe, right, interdepartmental?
What? Well, it's up to them whether they do both in the article or they do it as of May 1.
All right. We'll do some calculations on that, and then talk about it on Monday when we vote this, okay? Because it'll have to be, we'll have to make a recommendation for a motion. Any other questions from the committee? Pat?
Just what do you mean by agencies, when you said we're looking at the agencies?
I'm sorry, that's old habits from when I was at the legislature working for Ways and Means.
You mean departments?
Departments.
Okay, I liked it. How could I have missed a whole group of people after all these years? Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Okay. And while we have the chair of the Board of Selectmen here, I know, he'll be back. I thought we could take just a couple of minutes to speak about Article 11 that we had tried to put on the agenda earlier, I believe, for Monday.
Are we done with this? Mr.
Oh, we are, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for the presentation and for all the detailed information.
Thank
And
you.
congratulations to both sides.
Town code.
Hey, is Jamie Velasquez back there?
She's back there. She lives back there.
That's okay. Do we have an agenda for tonight? I don't have a copy.
I don't have a copy either. Let me see if I,
I don't think there's much to it. Right, that's all right.
You may pass it out.
Jamie, we didn't pass out any of this, this documentation over here because we weren't sure what the sequence or order was, so. And let me just read that article very quickly. This article is not assigned to us. However, it has to do with the numbering of the articles in the warrant. And the reason I thought it was important to us, and maybe we should have been given it, is because we submit a report to town meeting that requires formatting, and this is certainly a lot to do about formatting. So, which article was it again? It wasn't.
11.
11.
Why is this
Page
not-
6.
They're going to purge every old copy of everything that I have because it's so... All right, to see if the town will vote to amend Chapter 47 of the Town Code to eliminate the requirement for assignment of ID numbers by deleting the strike-through text and inserting the underlined text as follows. The underlined text, okay. And I'll just read this small portion. The published warrant for any town meeting shall include the articles listed in the order in which the selectmen request the town meeting to act, as provided by general laws of the Commonwealth. Each petition or requested article received by the Board of Selectmen for inclusion in the warrant shall be marked with a date and time of receipt. The published warrant shall include the date of receipt of each petitioned article along with the name and address of the petitioner. The published warrant shall also indicate those articles inserted by the Board of Selectmen at the request of an individual or organization and identify the requester. Each article has been accepted for inclusion in the warrant. After each article has been accepted for inclusion in the warrant, whether by petition or by the request of the selectmen, copies shall be forwarded within 2 working days to the Finance and Taxation and the Rules Committee. Thanks, John. Mr. Recupero, welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And you look like you're getting around pretty nimbly on your device.
Not just yet. I couldn't chase anybody down the street if that's
I'm
what
so
I
sorry
needed
for
to
all
do.
this stuff that you're going through. I feel so badly about it. But at least it's done and you're on the mend, and that's the good news.
And it's a cool-looking peg leg brace.
Yeah.
I want you to wear the patch.
Need a parrot and a patch.
I love it.
You've been getting that all day, I'm sure, so we're sorry.
I'm not, I love it.
No worries.
So can we talk about IDs?
Thank you. At your pleasure and pace, Mr. Chairman. I had just, this was something that came out of discussions that we had, preliminary discussions in preparation for town meeting, which I hope continue between the FinCom and the Board of Selectmen. Just sort of logistical planning and trying to keep things efficiently moving through the date when the warrant gets open to the date when we open town meeting and actually close town meeting, I would think.
Even with all the snowstorms and everything else, I found it very, very beneficial. And again, I think it's something that, future finance committees and boards of selectmen should continue.
I hope so. I hope so. I think that, the one thing that ran into, 2 things ran into our way was one, an injury by the fool standing in front of you, and 2 was just the great snowstorms of 2015. But as some of you may know from the discussions we've had in past years, we do have this process of, well, you all know the ID system, the ID number and the article number. And it just seemed to be leading to too much confusion. We would get requests from the town moderator on assignments for ID numbers, and it would, everything that would flow from this ID number that really, it had a day, I imagine, when it was useful. I don't want to speak for the town moderator. He did submit a memorandum to the other standing committees. One of the things that he cited was this as a tracking system. And back in the day, in 1970s, when this was adopted, that may have been very useful, because there was an instance that he cites where there was an article that was submitted for town meeting that was misplaced or lost or otherwise. Nowadays, we just have so many copies of things in both electronic and paper form, and the ID system confuses things. It's unnecessary in my mind, and the board did vote to insert this 4-1. I certainly don't want to speak for any of the board members, but just in my mind, it was something that to weed through a lot of the thicket that town meeting can become, removing ID numbers, which is the product of Chapter 47 of the general bylaws of the town. We asked town council to go through and keep a tracking system where articles would get stamped in, dated, marked with the date and time of receipt, and so you would have articles now where it says ID number, it would say Article 11, say, and there would be a date when it was received and a time when it was received, and that would be accompany the article itself, but we wouldn't have the ID number. And I heard a little of the discussion that happened at the other standing committees, and that this
Municipal
was
regulations.
I'm sorry?
Municipal regulations.
Municipal regulate, that this was a check and balance of the system, and I really don't think it is. You look at any other town, and I did. I went online, I pulled up every other town around here, hold up a town meeting warrant, special and annual, for every other town around, and you don't see ID numbers. You see Article 1, text. Article 2, text. It just seems, and by the way, if you look at the proposed warrant that we have right now, what you'll see is Article 1, ID 1, Article 2, ID 2, Article 3, it's a redundancy that we really don't need in this day and age, and it seems to me that cleaning up the process and making town meeting more efficient in as many ways as we can, one of them would be to take, I honestly didn't even know what it was until this year, and just seems to me the time has come to create the efficiency of removing the question of ID numbers, and that's all
And we end up getting asked about it every year. And we're actually not sure why it's there, but.
We did
I mean, I
it the
think
special
we do
and the
understand,
annual, so, yeah.
Well, the process in theory is that, and it was really to protect the petitioners, I guess. So not the Board of Selectmen, but, it was an everyday citizen that came in. And the theory was that they went to the town clerk, but they don't have a process down there for accepting petitioned articles. In other words, they don't have a log that enters these in and immediately signs an ID number. They don't timestamp them. There's no physical mechanism or procedure in place for them to accept them. So the argument that that's the route that it's supposed to follow, there is no trail to go back and validate. If you had an audit of this, we would fail miserably at that process. Generally what happens is they're directed to the Secretary of the Board of Selectmen, who generally is the person who's going to be coordinating, collecting, and inserting the warrant articles. The other point is the Board of Selectmen vote to insert all these articles in one night. Do they all get the same ID number? So it's a rhetorical question. It's absurd to think that that would be the case, because then there's really no point to it. The Rules Committee, of which I'm a member, got our listings this year with an attempt to assign ID numbers, but one article had 3 components to it. It was I think it was the CPA article. The article had an ID number, and each of the subcomponents had an ID number, so there were 4 ID numbers assigned to 3 articles. It's so confusing that we had to stop and say, this should be this way, and it should have been really numbered the same way that we had the article that had all the town equipment purchases that had multiple levels within that one article. It's one article, one ID number at that point. So we have had this discussion. It just adds confusion and levels, and to top that all off, then there was another segregation of numbering that separated out categories of articles. So you had that, you had the article number, you had the ID number, you now had a new category number for a subsection of the similar groupings. It's way complicated. Article number, that's it. So anyways, questions, John?
I agree with everything you're saying here. Only thing I want to know is, Selectman Walsh, she proposed that. I was wondering if she could tell us why. Maybe she gives some insight that we're not seeing.
Cynthia Walsh, 1096 Park Street. I've been in town meetings since 1983. I understand what has been going on. It never confused me. If people want to make life simpler, it's fine. But I guess I'm a traditionalist.
Well, Ms. Walsh, would you see a downside to doing this? I think that's important, because you do have a great perspective, or a unique perspective, because you've seen the consistent timeline here.
Well, if this is confusing to other people, then, and you think simplifying it will make town meeting a little bit more attractive, it'd be nice if we could get back up to 168 people.
Yeah?
I'm not confused by it. I actually ignored ID numbers all this time because I really didn't know what they were for.
Confusion, if I may, Mr. Chairman, confusion is probably a bad way for me to put it. There was a lot of discussion on the process of assigning them. We must have spent hours assigning on how and when and who, and the issue of ID numbers, and this seemed to streamline things. Is we don't need ID numbers per se, we just need a tracking system, which this article purports to do.
Right, the only thing I'd add to that article is that, and maybe it's in the comments, but, and again, it wasn't assigned to us, but I'd love us to be on record having an opinion about it, so I will ask for just a recommendation from the committee, but that there should be a procedure written for how these things are received and entered, so that it is an auditable item, and there is a process in place for it, for citizens to follow, so. Selectman O'Regan, following in the footsteps of Selectman Welch.
Do I have to do this? I just wanted to add, that when I first got to town, Bob O'Regan, Precinct 1, 26 Freely Drive. When I first got to town meeting, sometime after Selectwoman Walsh got there, I saw this ID number and I asked what it was for. I was told essentially it was to protect against a clerical error. I asked, well, what was the error? I was told, I think, what you've referred to. And I said, well, what happens if somebody makes a mistake and gives the same ID number to two articles? And that met with the proverbial, that will never happen. Well, I'm going to guess it might have. So the reason I support this article is it has no meaning to the function or operation of town meeting. And it is a distraction because if it's on the warrant, there's an implication that it has meaning, and then there's a quest to find what the meaning may be. And there was a time when, in the last 3 years, where the Board of Selectmen did undertake to exercise the prerogative under I think the charter provision, and order the warrant articles within the town meeting warrant. And there was, I believe, a question about whether that could be done in violation of the sequence in the ID numbers, and who could do it and why. So I think it is in the interest of having the government work better to strip out of our system things that may have had a purpose but no meaning, and this is one of them. Thank you.
Okay. Other questions, John? No, just motion. Oh. Motion to recommend. Go ahead. A motion, second? John. Any discussion from the committee on this? Okay. Did we lose Barbara? Is she over there?
She's
Oh,
there,
there she
she's just hiding behind my big chair.
All those in favor, show of hands. Unanimous? Great. Thank you, folks. I think we're going to move on to voting the budget, unless anybody has any other business that we need to cover here before we do that. We're going to vote on the contract on Monday.
Rick,
Yep.
is the budget, is that on the agenda for Monday as well, just in case anything were to come up?
We can add it just in case something comes up. Yeah, there's a question on the school budget, right? We have got the Voc Tech.
Yeah, I've got two issues potentially with the school
Yeah.
budget, so
Okay.
I can talk about it, but I just didn't know if we wanted to. Bruce has his hand up.
Bruce?
The new revenue sheet that was given out based on the budget, I'm assuming that's the budget was handed out yesterday.
Based on which document are you talking about?
The revenue sheet that
Oh,
Jamie
the new
just handed
revenue
us.
sheet? Okay.
I'm assuming that budget in there is what is in this that was handed out yesterday.
Bill? We have a new revenue sheet that is... So you're saying right now we have a negative revenue of 66,000? That's fine. We've got more
So-
free cash.
My question was, if part of the revenue sheet has the cash, the warrant articles that we voted on that are cash,
Right.
at some point, and I don't know if we do that before the budget, or can we go back and possibly amend to non-cash, or revisit?
If we don't have the cash on town meeting floor, we'll amend the motion.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
Oh, I didn't know if we did it here before.
no, only because this number's going to change again. So for example, if we get a letter from FEMA that says we're going to get reimbursed for $1 million, all that goes away.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's, we don't have the state aid number yet either, and we haven't even assigned the unexpended articles, Bruce. There's a lot of money there. So I'm happy leaving this where it is for right now. Plus, we're going to pick some money up in this exercise tonight, which I think we're probably going to end up needing for the, just in case. I know we could do some interdepartmental transfers. There's enough money, I think, out there where we can cover the $76,000 for the collective bargaining commitments for 2015, but just in case, okay?
Rick, I'm sorry, do we
Pat.
also have to free up money for Thayer, because that,
That's what I just said.
oh, did you, I'm sorry.
See, collective bargaining?
Oh, okay. Never mind. Apparently one money ran out the other.
Bill, just a big filter there. Ed, sorry?
Mr. Town Manager, have you heard anything about the Southeast Regional, they might adjust the bus dollars for this year per Mr. Patrick doing whatever he did at the beginning of the year?
I don't believe they can. The fiscal year is 3/4 over, and they still don't have a figure from the state. So, and I got the impression from the business manager when he was here, he pretty well indicated that they would eat whatever the cost was.
The school will eat it.
Southeast
Their-
Regional,
One of their,
right.
one of their reserves, all right.
Yeah, they're on record saying that, so. All right, I'm just going to call the department name number and the total that we have, the new total now, and ask for a motion, a second, and any discussion, we'll vote. Mr. Town Manager?
We wanted to change one number,
Okay,
and that is in joint services.
okay,
We now believe the townwide insurance, which is budgeted at 705, can be budgeted at, and that's on page 2, can be budgeted at $675K.
okay.
Which one?
1 second. Townwide expenses and insurance, which is the bottom department on page 2. There's a line item in there that was the very bottom line, townwide insurance says 705,000. It's the second line from the bottom of the whole document of page 2. You got that? What is it now? The new number is?
675,000 based upon the information we received yesterday.
Okay.
The 705 was their initial estimate, and they've now given us a final estimate.
So that's going down by $30,000. So the new bottom line is going to be $1,305,000. Is that right? Pat?
Yes.
All right. Well, there's all kinds of changes in this thing from all the working sessions we've done, so let's get to the end and then see what's going on. Bill, are you going to keep track? The new number for, in Department 910, townwide expenses and insurance for the line item townwide insurance changed from 705,000. The new number is 675,000. Okay? Okay. I'm going to read the motions. I'm just going to, I guess when I read this, I'm going to make that the motion. And whoever wants, and then we can second it and then discussion and vote, okay? And if you think we're going fast, then slow me down, but my intention is to move right along.
Yeah, we just want to make sure Joanne can keep track of it all.
Good. Barb, all set? Seatbelts? Let's go. Department 910, debt amortization and expense. That's $3,800,675.
Second.
Second. All, any discussion? All in favor? Hands? Ed, okay, unanimous? What was that? John, Mally? Health insurance, $8,658,700.
Second.
John, second. Any discussion? All in favor? Hands? Ed? I'm sorry, hands, please, everybody. Hold them up. Okay, it's unanimous, thanks. Townwide insurance expense, the new number is $1,305,000.
Second.
Second. Any questions? All in favor? Hands? Thank you. Unemployment expense, Department 913, $30,000.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay. Actually, I'll just call for a voice vote, and if there's somebody that's opposing, then we'll pick it up there, okay?
Okay.
Be easier than raising our hands 600 times. So that is approved, and it was unanimous. If I don't hear any nays, or abstentions, I'm just going to assume it's unanimous, okay? Just so you know that that assumption's out there, and you can correct it if it comes up. Retirement contribution, Department 911, $4,030,000.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Unanimous? Does that work for you, Joanne? Okay. The department total, I don't know why we have a total on this page. Two different departments. I'm not going to read the department totals. It's not a department. Town manager's budget, Department 123. Really? $481,437.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining?
I'll keep saying second if you want. I know whose
Approved,
department that
unanimous.
was.
Town accountant's budget, Department 135, $303,492.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passed unanimously. Treasurer Collector, Department 145, $536,697.
Second.
John, second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? It's approved unanimously. Town Council, Department 111. There's a leading zero on all these departments. I'm just not reading it, just for the record. Department is $276,000.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Townhouse budget, Department 159, $477,715.
Second.
Any discussion? Ed?
Yeah, at our subcommittee hearing, we decided to cut that guy's salary down to 19. You guys decided to zero it out? Is that what happened there?
In the working session that we had, I'm not sure you were there for that, on Monday, the suggestion was to take the subcommittee's recommendation a step further and zero it out.
Okay, thank you.
So that old total from the town manager proposed budget was $518,482. The FinCom recommendation is now $477,715. Okay? Any discussion? All in favor? Say aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Approved? Unanimous? Procurement Department, Department 153, $152,642.
Second.
John's seconding. Any discussion? The amount is, the amount's the same as town manager recommended. It's $152,642. Do you have, is that what you have in your book, Bill? Okay, good. Yep. Oh, that's just the top part. See? One department, one page.
They're separate departments.
Yeah, it's two different department numbers. Holy smokes. Can we go back to the town accountant's budget?
That's why he needs extra help.
Yeah, that's right, increase that training line. All right, so we have a motion and a second, and any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed or abstaining? Passes unanimously. Department 138, centralized purchasing. When is that telephone expense going to come down, Mr. Town Manager?
We will look at it.
Please do. It was supposed to come down 3 years ago when we put,
7 years ago.
I know that. So now I'm just alerting you to the fact. But we put in 2 separate switches, eliminated over 100 hard lines that were being billed for individually. And now you can dial an extension instead of a telephone number. That number should have cut in half 3 years ago. So the departmental budget is $200,100.
Second.
Second, John. Any questions or discussions? I think we just had it. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed or abstaining? It's approved unanimously. Department 141, Assessor's Budget, $318,757.
Second.
Second is John. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed or abstaining? It's approved unanimously. Information Systems, Pat, did you want to comment on this? It looks like all we did was break it out into 2 lines, but based on our discussion from the other night.
Yeah, I haven't been able to verify yet that the AutoCAD that went to engineering was reduced from here. I just can't get an answer, and I can't find anyone who knows that. The technician salaries, I think we may be over budgeting in the schools by about 28,000. But I just have one more thing I want to verify. I talked to the payroll people, I talked to Bill, I talked to a lot of people today. I just want to make sure there's nothing in the school line item that maybe they're counting someone else that has nothing to do with this department in that line item. So I think this is okay, I just couldn't verify the AutoCAD. Any changes I make would be on the school side of the IT budget.
Okay. And this wasn't how we paid for the iPad, so. Okay. If we, bless you, if we want to revisit the school budget on Monday, we can. Okay? Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed or abstaining? It's approved unanimously. Town clerk budget, Department 161, $322,560.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed or abstaining? It's approved unanimously. And just a note for anybody that's watching, particularly at home, the reason why we're able to go through these and approve them pretty routinely as unanimously is because we've done an awful lot of background work. This is the FinCom number that we're voting on now, and that in some cases may be different than what was submitted by the town manager, but we've discussed it. We understand what the numbers are behind it and the details, so that's why we're familiar with it and can vote on it up and down like we are right now, just for people's information. This is the town moderator budget, Department 114, $4,500.
Second.
John is the second.
Reluctant second.
Any discussion? Bruce?
A couple of years ago when we heard this and his raise went from 1,000 to 1,200, now to then to 14. Then last year with some objection it went to 35. Now it's going to 4. Where is this going to stop? And I wasn't here the night that it was discussed, so I apologize, but this is getting kind of insane to me. This raises, I don't know if it's warranted. I don't know. There's a lot to do here, and I don't think, I would like to see this go back to, I would take it back to fiscal 14 line to 1,400 before I would vote a $1,000 raise.
Okay. Any other discussion? Pat?
I said something similar, Bruce. I would have felt more comfortable if somebody had a plan that we're going to base the stipend on X, and this is what we think the correct compensation should be. I'm not comfortable with just each year, whatever Finance Committee decide, oh, we're just going to add more.
Someone want to make a substitute motion, get back to 35?
Well, hang on a second.
Oh.
This isn't an $80,000 budget, and I wouldn't anticipate that this committee's going to increase this anymore, period. I mean, it's
Why didn't they do
entirely
an
up to you,
increase
but
this
I
year,
think
but-
that this was 2 years ago recommended to be 5,000. It was settled at 3,500, and the request, which the town manager would have endorsed if it had been submitted to the, if I'm not mistaken, would have been $4,500 in their budget as well.
I say let's get on with it. This is such a small little thing, and the town moderator certainly puts in the work, and if he says he needs $4,500, I'm good with it. It's like, it's not really worth talking about. It's so small.
Bruce, then
I'm
Ed?
not disagreeing that it's small, but there is no end in sight. If he's elected again, he's going to be asking for a $10,000 raise. It's just never going to end. And I think at some point, the town manager put in 3,500 and FinCom put it to 4,500. I don't see the need for the increase.
Okay, we get it. Ed?
Hey, for years, the guy was underpaid at $1,400 for way back when. This year, we've had all kinds of special town meetings. Now we have a town meeting inside of a town meeting and everything else going on. And we're whining about $1,000. It's well-deserved. The guy's been doing it for 40 years, is well-experienced. If you get a new guy in here, who knows what's going to happen with the chaos? So this is nickels and dimes. Let's get on with this. Thank you.
Okay, other discussion? Seeing none. We have a motion and a second. The motion is to approve. All those in favor? Aye. Actually, I
Aye.
want to show of hands on this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. You made the second. You're not voting for it?
I
1,
said it was
2,
elected
3,
second.
4, 5, 6, 7. All those opposed, sorry. 1, 2, 3. The motion passes 7-3. Planning Department, 175, $123,699.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved unanimously. Hang on a second. Board of Selectmen's budget, Department 122, $18,330.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed or abstaining? It's unanimous. It passes unanimous. Human Resources Department 152, $217,410.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed or abstaining? It passes unanimously. Engineering Conservation, Department 1, this is why are these together?
Reorg.
They reorganized them together.
So they're combined now? Is a new department number, or?
You listed the old department,
I know that, but what is the new department if they're combined?
probably whatever Bill determines it should be.
Okay, so we're going to eliminate Department 171? Okay. So this is Department 411 with Old Department 171 folded into it. Okay. Bill, why would you do that? He just gave you latitude. Run with it. Okay. $466,687.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? It's approved unanimously. The Finance Committee budget. I want to make an adjustment here and go with, actually, the town manager proposed and subcommittee, original subcommittee recommendation. So we did take out all that electricity It's not needed in this budget. I'd like to endorse the original $50,000 increase here, which could go to supplement fuel if needed in the future, which is an increase over prior year, with the budget being, the proposed budget being $267,000, $267,200. Any, can I get a second on that?
Second, sorry.
Any discussion?
So, but, yeah, I want to know, so you're not doing that, taking all the electricity out, is that what you're saying?
Right, so that'll go to free cash now, so we can use that for either,
You're ta-
you know,
You're
to,
taking out and putting it in free cash, I
yep,
guess.
so it'll offset that 66, so that automatically goes away with this savings. And now we're in positive territory. Bill?
Could you give me those line items again, Mr. Chairman? The reserve fund fuel is going to be,
Reserve fund fuel is going to be $50,000.
okay,
I'm sorry, the reserve fund's going to be $250,000. That's what it is. I'm sorry, my mistake.
okay, and the reserve fund fuel is going to be,
So it's what, 300, is that 370,000, 17,200?
so fuel is going to be zero?
317,000.
One second, Bill.
317,000.
Yeah, 317. All right, my apologies. So the FinCom recommendation is going to be the fuel fund reserve is $50,000, not the 130,410 that you see there now.
Yep.
And that would be the only change, so, well, I don't know.
So 200 for the reserve fund.
And 250.
250.
250. So I'm looking at the FinCom recommendation. Okay?
317, 200?
317,200 would be the new bottom line. Everybody got that?
Second.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so John has seconded that. Any more discussion?
And you said that the electricity came out of the other departments, it's just going to free cash.
Correct.
And if somebody should have a shortfall, they would come to the FinCom reserve.
Right, because now we've got 50,000 more than we've ever had, so, and the schedule for the electricity that came out of the departments is the last page. You'll see a schedule by department what came out. Okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed or abstaining? Passes unanimously. Department, Historical Commission, Department 615. They didn't spend anything last year. I don't think they spent anything this year. I mean, we should think about next year whether it's needed or not. I think that that's had some secretarial expenses, and maybe we can tie in with the, that line that's in the town clerk's budget for temp labor. Anyways, the budget's $800. John, second. Any discussion? I think we just had it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed or abstaining? Unanimous. Police Department, Department 210, $5,354,700.
No,
I'm sorry, what am I?
page
oh,
22.
The next page, sorry. Why is there a number on that page?
That was the salaries. Chief would, yeah.
It's a summary of the salaries.
Second.
Chief would not be happy if we cut all his expenses.
It just so happens that salaries ended up being at the bottom of that line, okay. All right, so I am now, these pages aren't numbered.
I'm not I
So-
just-
When we finally finish formatting this budget, every page has got to be numbered, and I want one department per page. No 2 and 3 and 4. I know it's going to be take up more paper, but it's just too confusing. Police Department, the bottom line is $5,932,491.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, I just want to verify that because because we only took 90,000 away, correct? And we took the 30, okay, let me just,
Well, 30 went somewhere else, though.
Community events.
still not getting that number. I have so many versions of I know, I have so many versions of and that's why I'm not getting that number. I've got too many versions of the budget.
Added the 90 back.
Yeah, but it washed, we took out the 90, so those 90s washed, so all we took out was community events, I thought, which was 30, which would have... Oh, electricity, thank you, Michael, I'm sorry.
All right.
Never mind, I apologize, thank you. Glad you're paying attention. Thank you. Never mind.
Okay. Even without those three positions, this budget's going up almost 16% from 2014. So, and that's kind of been a theme. So the thoughts about not adding in the three new positions this year is because there were new positions added last year that haven't been put in place yet, that are going to be a part of, that are going to relieve police officers of doing background checks and a lot of record checking and things of that nature, processing gun licenses. So last year, we agreed to, or we recommended that those two new positions be put in the police department. They were program administrators, I believe, and an upgrade to that position as well, thinking that we're going to get two more police officers on the streets, and we haven't had that happen yet. So we'd like to kind of see how that plays out, and then if there's a need to add three more on top of that, then we can revisit it next year. But for the time being, knowing that money is tight because we lost almost $1.5 million or more just in snowstorms, and it ate up any free cash that we had. We're starting tonight with a free cash number that's a negative $66,739. So on the one hand, we don't have it and the money to do it, and on the other hand, and that's with these three positions out, by the way. If we'd put them back in, we'd be over $150,000 in the hole. Okay, with all of that said, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? It's approved unanimously. Crossing guards, $100,800. Second?
Second, sorry.
John?
Lost track of that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Just make another note. Robert's Rules of Orders would generally prohibit or suggest that the chairman doesn't need to vote in these things, but I think it's important that I'm on record about how I stand on all this, so I choose to vote. But a committee of 5 or less, the chairman would vote. Committee of more than 5, the chairman generally wouldn't vote, but I choose to, so. I am at Central Dispatch, Department 217. The amount is $447,387.
Second.
Second is John. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes unanimously. Fire and Rescue Department, Department 220.
Page 27.
The new number I have is $5,340,811.
Second.
It should be printed, it's printed, $5,340,811. You got it, Joe? Okay. Can I have, second, John, second it. Is there any discussion on this one? I don't think we changed it, did we?
The electricity.
10, the electricity. Okay. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes unanimously. Building and Code Enforcement, Department 241, $322,971.
Second.
John, second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Unanimous. Approved. Animal Control, Department 292, $73,662.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? It's approved unanimously. DPW General and Highway, Department 421. Actually, the next page. $1 million, make sure it's not salary. $1,273,322.
Second.
The second from John. Any discussion? Ed?
Do you know the status of our petition for civil service thing?
Typically, home rule petitions are dealt with in June by the legislature. So it's in there, it's
On the
been
table?
turned in. We won't get anything until June at the earliest. They usually do that at the end of the session before their summer break.
What was the question, Ed?
Last year at town meeting, we voted to do away with the civil service component, and I wanted to know if it did finally get through the legislature.
Okay,
housekeeping item. Thank you.
and that'll happen sometime in early summer, okay. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? It's approved and it's unanimous. Moving on to snow removal. Department 423, $245,615.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And just so people will know, because this question will be asked again and again, because it's complicated, but it's not. This is one of the 2 accounts in the town that we can we can overdraft, which is what this committee authorized earlier by vote when we got hit with the snowstorm. So whatever amount over this, the state will take right off of the revenue sheet when we've done submitting expenses. So you'll see in this year's revenue sheet, the overdraft number is $1,545,186. Surely a lot higher than the 245. But if we budget $1,545,186, then we're obligated to budget that every year go forward. And certainly that's why it's a number that we're allowed to overdraft, providing we budget at least what we had budgeted the prior year.
So this number's just a placeholder.
Yeah, but we've had some winters that we didn't hit that number, so, not recently, but. Okay, any discussion, further discussion? I just wanted to make that comment, we've already voted. Highway Construction Department 422, did I read 422 before already? I have to go back and make sure these department numbers are right. But this is the Highway Construction Department, and it's $431,100.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? It's approved unanimously. Sanitation. Department 433. Bill, I got these department numbers right? And 422 was okay for highway? Okay. $1,709,984.
Second.
Second, any discussion? And just to let you know, the biggest increase in that line was our dumping fees that went up. Where is it? Where is it?
Page 34,
I don't
third
have
from the
page
bottom.
numbers. I have
Oh.
page 1 and page 2 of sanitation.
Page 1, under salaries, the third line up from the or fourth line up from the bottom, the solid waste disposal went from 670,
Oh.
680
Yep.
to 781, 918.
Okay, so that went up about 120,000 over last year, which is like an 18% increase. And the year before, it was only 440,000, so it's getting close to doubling just from 2 years ago. Okay, I just wanted people to know why it was so much of an increase. Again, it's $1,709,984. We have a second. Any additional discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed or abstaining? Passes unanimously. Street Lighting Department, 424, $387,360.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? It passes unanimously. Municipal Fuel Depot, Department 425 is 0.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? It's approved unanimously. Board of Health, not to be confused with visiting nurses, which is an enterprise account. Board of Health, $148,940.
Okay, we do that, we take out the revolving fund, want to figure that?
This is the general fund appropriation.
Okay.
$148,940.
Second.
Any discussion? You'll see that there's a $75,000 credit right above it for the revolving fund. So the town meeting approved that we would fund the assistant town sanitarian out of that fund, which was a year or two ago, I believe. And now there's been a motion to fund the household hazardous waste aid, $20,000 also. So you see that that credit went from $55,000 last year to $75,000 this year to offset the department total, and that's where the $148,940 came from. Okay? Additional discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed or abstaining? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Walsh. Good suggestion. Veteran Services Department 543, $750,132.
Second.
Second, any discussion? Actually,
Just got something
he's going to
done.
come to us with a, probably about what the increase in this budget is.
132.
Yeah, I think he said, who was talking to him today, Jamie? I think he's going to need another 50,000 or so.
Yeah, he said today, he told me between 40 and 50K, he thinks.
So if he added 50 to this budget, it brings it up to about 720. And for the fiscal 15, for 16, he's asking for 750. So again, his run rate is just every year it just keeps going up and up and up. So hopefully this will cover it, but we've got a reserve and can help if we need to, so.
Rick, do
Yes,
we need
Pat?
to put him on the agenda for Monday night for that transfer, or is that too soon?
I
still?
told him when I got the request that I replied to them today and said that as soon as I get a request for a transfer, we'll put him on the agenda. I don't,
That's 624 for the year. For that stuff. For the benefits.
yeah, that's
That's the whole
surely
thing.
way different than the number we have. So, but anyways, we'll see. But I did send a communication to him saying as soon as we have a request, then, but I think he was going to wait until the end of April.
That's the impression I got today.
Right.
You would see it just before town meeting.
Yeah, so we would probably meet just before town meeting for any cleanup business anyway, so. Okay, I have a second?
Yep.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed or abstaining? Approved unanimously. Council on Aging, Department 541, $420,823.
Second.
Second, any discussion? You can see that there's a credit in there from grant funding for $49,328, so they do a terrific job of collecting grants down there for Council on Aging and youth.
That one's coming to the end in like 2 years, right? We're in year 8 or 10 of that one, I think.
Yeah, I think on the Oasis grant, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh, that's the next
Yep.
one, okay. I know she said that she was coming to an end.
Yeah, that's the Youth Commission. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed or abstaining? Passes unanimously. Youth Commission, Department 542, $254,033.
Second.
Any discussion? You'll see the grant funding is $91,000 for this year, so it's, the total overall is reduced by that amount. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstaining? It's approved unanimously. And when I say approved, I mean it's, the Finance Committee is going to recommend to town meeting to approve this. Just for clarification, we are a body that recommends. Library, Department 610. $1,061,668.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
Yes.
Yeah,
Were we looking into changing
I thought.
the literacy coordinator? We had some discussion about that the other night. I thought Bob was going to look into that because the union wanted the 2 part-times into a full-time, and then that left the door open for a few hours left for the part-timer, and I know we were looking at maybe reversing that, but Bob isn't here. Has anyone heard anything on that?
My understanding is that the 2 part-time is total to about 28 hours a week. And my understanding from what I heard from the librarian the other night is that the union would like to see that 1 position instead of 2 part-timers. So I'm saying that we're going to take 2 part-time positions at 28 hours that are not benefited, and create a full-time position at 35 hours, which is an increase of at least 7 or 8 more hours, and it'll be fully benefited. Mr. Town Manager?
That's correct, with one caveat, and that is under the ACA, any position with 28 hours is benefited.
Oh, it is? So the
Yes.
part-time position is already benefited?
Yes,
Okay.
or it will be when the ACA fully kicks in.
When is that going to be?
I believe next January, that position, even if it stayed at 28 hours, would become benefited, which means you'd have 2 people that were benefited. This way here, you'll have 1 who's a full-time employee.
Okay.
I had a notepad that too, it said we were changing that to 36,181 during our
Right.
Monday meeting.
But Bob was going to look into it and
Bob,
get follow-up.
based on Bob's feedback,
Yeah.
you know, that he was going to call the town manager, and now we know what the town manager said, so you guys decide what you want to do. As far as I'm concerned, I was worried about taking 2 people and creating a new benefited position. If we're really only talking about 8 hours here a week, I'm not as concerned about it.
My concern was
Plus it's still a
more,
part-timer.
my concern was if this
The
becomes
full-time
one
now is what they're
full-time,
asking for, and they're benefit-
are we
one person
not going to
benefited
have that other
versus 2.
person? Because
Saying that both of them
Pat
benefited.
mentioned that maybe we'd keep them with 5 hours or something, and I know what that'll be next year. That 5 will be 15, and then it will be up to
Right.
28 the year after. So by combining 2 into 1, if we're still keeping that second person,
We need to adjust the
that's
FTEs
still the
anyway.
plan, or?
The paperwork I've gotten really just addresses 1 full-time position.
But she indicated she was keeping on the other person too for some hours.
For 5 hours.
Whether or not that person would be in literacy would be a decision she would have to make. What has been proposed by both the director and the union is to have 1 literacy position, and that would be a full-time position.
But it still seems like they're making a change to the FTEs for 16, then, if we're going for that 1 full-time plus this other part-time.
Well, if she has a part-timer, it's going to have to come out of part-time wages, and we're not changing that number.
It would seem like the logic of 2 part-time benefited positions to 1 full-time benefit positions, the savings in benefits would be considerable if they signed up for health care or something. So I'm good with this.
I agree. Any additional discussion? So we're voting on the number as submitted, well, actually, I'm
the
sorry, this
electricity
changed.
change.
Oh, the electricity change, right. So the change in this line is just for electricity. So again, the departmental total is $1,061,668.
Which I
So-
seconded.
And we have a second. Any additional discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes unanimously. Recreation, $203,578.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous, or abstaining? Nobody? Community events. Now, we're at that crossroad again, Bill, with Department 692 and 695. Which one do you want, Mr. Town Manager?
What do you recommend, Bill? I think he's looking it up.
What's your lucky number?
This was a new department last year. So,
Yes, it was.
so why do we have 2 department numbers, or did I just miss that last year?
I don't know how we ended up.
We folded one department, created,
This-
we added a new department and folded the other one into it or whatever, I don't
Yeah,
know.
we took some from the selectmen last year.
The line item in the selectmen's budget, and the veterans parades were a line item in Mike's budget, and we combined them into one budget called community events.
Excellent. All right, so we're eliminating 692. Get that, Jamie? And that got folded into this one.
Right.
There's a line in here for Memorial Day.
Which the veterans agent is still responsible.
That's fine.
It's still his event.
Well, that's your decision, so. All right, so now we have community events. It is Department 695. 692 was Memorial Day, but it's been eliminated. And the budget was $75,690.
Second.
Second, discussion? I'll just make the footnote here is that the police details for community events was in the police department budget, but we put it into community events. So that was the only change that we made. Okay? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Not in favor? Abstaining? Approved
Mix it up a
unanimously.
little bit.
Parks, Department 650, $64,725.
Second.
Second, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Approved unanimously. And again, the only thing changed here was there was a bump for trees, right? Yeah, $10,000 in there for trees for the downtown area, really just for trees, not for architects or anybody else, but just to put them in. DPW will install them, but to help green up the downtown area some more. Cedar Hill Enterprise account, again, we've got two departments, 651 and 710.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not going to eliminate one, I'm just going to. Okay. $305,037.
Second.
Second. Why is debt services in red? Because it's a debit being funded by the revenue sheet?
You don't have.
I think you wanted us to check the debt service number, but we did check it.
It was $3,800 discrepancy to the budget, but with the funding for Cedar Hill on the revenue sheet's only $32,658. That's how much is being subsidized this year for this budget from the new revenue sheet.
Subsidy?
Subsidy's 90 something, 90.
One. We need bigger
91,995 at this point.
You see your ruler again? So there's no totals for ambulance. The next line is Cedar Hill. Oh, I'm sorry, it's just the way that this is. That says $32,000, $32,658.
Do you have April 2nd, Rick?
New one. Yes,
No,
this
no,
is
no,
a
no.
brand new one.
You're looking up above under enterprise amount, receipts reimbursed? Or
Oh, to the general fund, you're right, sorry about that, there we go. So way down below, Cedar Hill Fund subsidy is $91,995. So on one hand, they're giving us $32,000, on the other hand, we're charging them, or we're giving them back $91,000, so it's a net of $60,000. Okay. So the budget is $305,037. Did we have a second?
I did second.
Second it. Any additional discussion?
Does that add up?
Denise?
I don't know, I think we should sell this thing.
We're actually just voting on the totals right now. That discussion would have been at the subcommittee, so. And it was had, so I don't think we're ready to sell it yet, was the general sentiment. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I
Abs-
oppose.
One opposed, so we're not unanimous. Give me a hand count, please. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Opposed? One opposed. It's approved. Stoughton Visiting Nurses Association, Public Health, Department 522, $1,151,604.
Second.
Any discussion? Ed?
Yeah, unless they get other sources of revenue, what's the fund balance in here now? And do you have any idea how much we'll subsidize going forward before it goes to zero?
In the reserve?
No, there's no subsidy. It's, they have, I think their certified retained earnings was about $1.7 million.
About $1.7 million.
$1.7
How much they gonna lose a year if they don't get any other fund?
Well, they've been, the last couple of years has been about 100 to 200,000.
All right, so we got some time, okay.
Yeah, but that's not this year.
No, he was talking about the actuals for the last couple of years, the actual results.
Yeah,
Right,
but we
Eddie?
put in how much for this year?
We're budgeting for, is it 650 or 850? 650? I think it's 650.
Yeah.
Again, that's just a budget, that's, just to be on the safe side in case we did have an extreme revenue shortfall, but we're not anticipating that.
Another
Where
quick
is- Where
question.
is that number, Bill? The 650?
It's up the top on the
It would
revenue
be on
sheet.
your, the revenue summary, those 4 pages that I gave you, Rick, on the revenue.
Oh, but it's not on this,
Not on this budget page, no.
okay.
One other quick question. The computer system that they got, it's already out of your fund balance number? Have you encumbered it, or that we voted last year?
The 200,000?
Yeah, the
Yes,
2,000.
that's been transferred into the capital projects fund,
Okay.
yep.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second?
Second?
Okay, any other additional discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those not in favor or abstaining? It's approved. Water enterprise budget. Is $6,388,038. And this is Department 450 and Department 710, so is that the department and debt bill? Okay, so 710 is debt. Like a trained monkey. Who's
Second.
who's the chair on this? Jim's not here. Dave's not here. Just real quickly, what changed here was the MWRA water assessment. It was in the budget, the requested budget for $833,329. We have finalized numbers from the MWRA. Their number is $1,106,344. So as much as that went up by, you're going to see that the sewer is going down by approximately the same amount. So that changed there, and I believe, did electricity change here? All right, it's not highlighted in red, but it did change. Okay. So,
Can I ask a question, Rick?
that,
Bill, is that big change, the switch from water to sewer in the switch in the subsidy, is that what the difference was on the revenue sheet that put us into a deficit?
Basically, the MWRA, yeah.
yeah.
Because we switched the water and sewer numbers, that's basically what...
Well, no, the MWRA, we don't switch the numbers. They send you out 2 assessments.
Right, but we had them in an earlier version almost as opposite numbers.
Well, the earlier numbers were estimates,
Okay,
yeah.
but that basically
They
accounts
weren't really related. I mean, there's two
That accounts, though,
separate.
for why we slipped into a deficit in the last few days?
Snow bill went up like $250,000.
Yeah, I think we had originally based on the requested amount, we had the water subsidy around 650,000. Then we got the preliminary assessment from the MWRA, and that was made 300,000 higher, so, or 250,000 higher.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I do have the MWRA assessment here if you need it.
Oh, I had it, I just wanted to make sure I was clear what the result of the change was, but it doesn't really even matter to
You
anyone.
had it, huh?
To anyone but me, but yes, I do have that, thank you. I just didn't know the effect on the subsidies, thank
So
you.
this was a test. Bill, stay on your toes, buddy. Okay, so we had a number of, the FinCom proposal is $6,388,038,
Second.
and we have a second. Any additional discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Approved unanimously. Sewer Enterprise, and again, these are 2 departments, Department 440 for the sewer and Department 710 for the debt. The proposed FinCom recommendation is $6,685,864.
Second.
Thank you. And you'll see that the assessment went from $4,718,101, which was the original recommendation from the Board of Selectmen's budget, The new number, so it went from $4,718,000 down to $4,437,776, okay? There was a change in electricity, so overall, the FinCom recommendation is going to be $6,685,864. We have a second in discussion. Ed?
Just a quick question. The sewer went down, is that because of I&I, or we using less going through the meter, or however that works? Is that why we think it went down?
No, we have updated assessment numbers, right?
Again, originally what you got were estimates. We now have actual numbers from the MWRA, as Bill said and as Rick said. So this is the number that was been given to us by the MWRA.
I think Ed's point is that the I&I projects may be taking effect. It's reducing the inflow and infiltration, so that would have a result on the assessment. So, you know, that could be. I mean, it's not not traceable like that, but.
It is, except he's got a, or maybe it was a major water leak somewhere. His water usage is way up, and he's still trying to track that down.
Yeah,
right?
they're trying to track down a major water leak.
Yep. Okay.
We've also had an unusual number of breaks this year.
Yeah, and is that because of the frozen
Yes.
pipes? Very much, okay. Any additional discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? It's unanimous, approved to recommend. And that's it, right? Did I miss anything?
Could I just mention what's going on with Norfolk Aggie for the regional schools?
Sure, please.
We put in an estimate of $40,000. I have not been able to get a hold of anyone on the phone still, but I was mentioning it to Jamie Kelly, and he sent me to Susan Herman, and I have to just give serious props to Sue. Basically, when their assessment came in, she didn't just automatically pay it. She wanted to verify that the students we were being charged for were really Stoughton residents. I brought the same thing up with Southeastern, and there was some question, and she's been going back and forth with them on that, and it's still not resolved yet. So what the bottom line to that means is they may have had some inaccurate information on Norfolk Aggie's end, so they may have to come back and give us an updated number for fiscal 15. So they may end up having to come to FinCom Reserve for a transfer. It looks like right now it could be around $5,000, but it's still shaking out. The reason this impacts us is the way I did my estimate is I took last year's number, divided by last year's students, got the per pupil expenditure, multiplied it by the new students. But if that base number wasn't accurate to start with because they had bad record keeping on their end, then my estimate just goes out the window. So
Well, I did the same math, and I think I came up with $38,800. So that's why originally 40 sounded fine, but I understand, well, if there's a misbilling, then we need to find it out pretty quick.
So we have two options. I'm going to still see, again, maybe it maybe explains why they're not calling me back, but I'm trying to get better information from them. If not, we have two choices come Monday night. We can either leave it at 40, and if it turns out that it's more than that, just know going in we may need to do a FinCom Reserve transfer, or else we increase it because it could be more, and then if we don't spend it, we get
Or
it
we
back.
let the schools absorb it,
Or we could do that.
right? So, and I would look to Dr. Izzi for that recommendation. Bill?
Could you just read those into the record, Pat, if you would, the Norfolk County and, I'm sorry, the regional school and the Stoughton Public Schools?
Yes,
voted-
what we voted the other night for Southeastern was $1,433,105, and we voted Norfolk County Agricultural for $40,000. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, wait a second. Right, that's what I said. That was Southeastern. Norfolk County Agricultural was 40.
That's what,
The bottom line for total regional schools was $1,473,105, and that was for Southeast Regional and Blue Hills Regional.
that's what I have.
I'm sorry, Norfolk County. Can we just take Blue Hills off of there?
And Bill, for the Stoughton Public Schools, we had voted $42,950,736.
Very good.
Okay, so we're meeting on Monday simply to vote on the article for the collective bargaining agreement that was given to us this evening. And I don't believe we have
I just
any-
want to leave the door open on the schools if the IT changes.
Yeah, we'll make sure that we add it to the agenda and repost it. It's a good idea. But we're voting, yeah.
Do we vote those other articles from last night?
Yeah, the three, we did it last night.
Pass?
Huh?
Did they all pass?
Well, two are going to be withdrawn, so we referred them. And the other one,
What about the special ones?
I think it did.
When do we have to vote the
Pleasant
special,
Street passed?
Oh, yeah, yeah, it did.
the special ones? Special town meeting articles?
All six were voted yes.
We voted those ones?
Yep, and to be funded out of general
I
funding.
didn't understand that we voted one item.
Okay, so yeah, the question was, do we vote the special town meeting articles? And yes, we did. We had a hearing last night for the special town meeting, a public hearing, and those all got voted, approved. Any other business before us at this point? The IT director will be here on Monday to give us a primer on the iPads. Once we approve this article, and then, or excuse me, once we consider this article and take a vote on it, and then we'll be able to pick his brain a little bit about how these iPads all work, et cetera. So, mysteries of the deep, and also your school email addresses. I'm not a fan of the school email system, but I think we're going to go to Google, Gmail. Yeah, which is good. All right, motion to adjourn. Bruce and Bob. Joe, sorry. Well, Joe and Bob. It's interchangeable. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great Easter weekend. Yes, thank you.
Doing vigil on Saturday? Or?